Hi guys, Nicole Harlow here, and you're watching Girl Meets Body, where I'm introducing you to your body one episode at a time. And today I'm doing something a little special. I am reviewing a little device here called the Daysy. So you can check it out. It's Daysy. And I've been using this now for a few months. And I wanted to just hop on here to give you guys a quick update and review on what my thoughts are about the Daysy. So, the Daysy is a personal fertility tracker, which means that you use it every morning when you wake up. Usually, you should be pretty consistent about using it at the same time, roughly the same time every single day. You want to use it in the morning before you've had anything to drink, hot or cold, even brushed your teeth, even really got out of bed and had that morning pee. I actually find that one of the most challenging things about Daysy, but that's challenging with fertility awareness method across the board. So it's not something unique to Daysy. I have been charting my temperatures for years now using just a basal body thermometer, which is an extra sensitive thermometer. So I wasn't coming off of this like completely fresh, never having done my temperature in the morning. That's actually something that I'm pretty familiar with. So, but I would say that that's a con, probably a con of fertility awareness method to begin with, is the fact that you do have to take it first thing in the morning when you wake up, ideally before you get out of bed. Now, the pro is it only really takes about 30 seconds, maybe a minute tops. I didn't specifically measure this one, but I know it didn't take me long until I actually got a reading. So that's pretty cool. I mean, it's an extra little 30 seconds in bed, pop the thermometer in your mouth, and you're good to go. So here's what I like about the Daysy. One is it has a really super sweet design. I put this next to my bed. It's on the bedside table, and it doesn't look like this old school thermometer. I love that it's got a pretty cool design here. I can tell that the manufacturers who made this were intentional about giving it a pretty cool design. So I like one design. I like this tiny little thermometer that you get here on the top. The way that it works is you're basically gonna click that in the center. You'll see that it turns on. You'll see that it's giving me a green light. So on here, actually I should turn it up this way. So on here we have three lights that could potentially light up. We have a yellow, a green in the center, and then a red. And what they mean is the yellow is something that you're going to see a lot when you first start taking your temperature and charting. It just means that the device is learning about your cycle. So inside of this little device, you have a pretty much like a tiny little computer. There are 5 million recorded cycles in here in the algorithm. So what that means is that the device is tracking your cycle, but it's tracking it against 5 million other cycles and giving you the best prediction about whether you're fertile or not. So this isn't, just to put it out here, this is not a method of contraception. It is a personal fertility tracker. And what that means is that it's gonna tell you whether it thinks that you're fertile or not. And what does that mean, being fertile? It's always good to stop and do a little bit of a biology lesson. We're not really taught this. We're not really taught about our bodies. So most women don't know this, but you're only really fertile 5 or 6 days out of the month. Even if you ovulate twice in a cycle, those ovulations are typically going to be within 24 hours of one another. Once you've ovulated, you have a few days where the egg could potentially be fertilized. And if you have semen inside of you, those little sperm, those little guys can get the egg pregnant for 5 or 6 days. So what this method and this little device is taking into account is that you have a window of, say, 5 or 6 days every month where you're potentially fertile. So how can you use it? If you are trying to get pregnant, great. You want to have lots of sex during that window. If you are not trying to get pregnant, what it means is that after using this for a month or two, especially if you have a regular cycle, Daysy is going to get pretty smart about figuring out what's going on in your cycle. So you will put this little baby in your mouth when you wake up, And if you see a red light on here, that means that you are potentially ovulating or getting ready to ovulate. So that means if you're trying to not get pregnant, you want to make sure that you're using a barrier method to protect yourself from pregnancy during that time. Now, in the beginning, you're going to see a lot of yellow. And yellow just means that Daisy is trying to figure out what's going on with your cycle and hasn't really gotten to that place where it really knows what's going on. Once you've been using this for, say, like 2 or 3 months and Daisy is starting to learn your cycle, when you see a yellow, that just means proceed with caution. It means that your ovulation is probably about to start, and so you should be extra careful. But what you will see the rest of the month is you will see the green start to light up more and more. And that means that Daisy is predicting that you're not fertile during those windows. Now, there's a lot, and I do have other videos on here where I go a bit deeper into fertility awareness method, and I think that using FAM principles in conjunction with Daisy is great if you're trying to get pregnant or if you're not trying to get pregnant, if you just want to be able to track your fertility and know your body better. So you'll see on my channel things like the fertility finger test. It's got a funny name, but it's about going and checking your cervical fluid, see what's going on in your body. So I like to use the Daisy in conjunction with also taking personal responsibility of knowing what's actually going on in your body too. So that's things like checking your cervical positioning. You'll find a video on my channel about that, checking your cervical fluid, see where the fluid is, what it's like, texture, what color is it, whether it's stringy or not. That's going to give you some good clues. So if you look at your Daisy and you see a red on here, that Daisy thinks that you're potentially ovulating, and you're checking your cervical fluid and you see that egg white, stretchy, clear, then know that you are in the zone for ovulation. So I like to, I love this device. I've been really happy using it. Now, something that I haven't talked about that is part of the Daisy is that you can hook this up to Daisy's app on your cell phone. And what you'll do is you'll see the information is on your phone. So something that I would say that I wish I could see on this device, you have to actually go into the app to see it, is the actual temperature. I would have liked to have just like a little screen on the front that has my temperature because I'm kind of a geek and a little bit of a fertility awareness junkie, and rather than going in the app, I would have preferred to just put it in my mouth, see the temperature, and then have it light up as well. But I realize that I'm somewhat of a power user and kind of a geek too, that I actually want that information. So I think your average person doesn't really need the temperature on here. I'd say that is just one of the few or only critiques that I really have of this is I don't actually want to, especially in the morning, I don't want to open up my phone and then look to see what the temperature is. So what I've been doing is just a little workaround. I have an old school basal body thermometer, and so I pop this in my mouth, I see where I'm at, and then I also put the other thermometer in my mouth, and then I'll see what my temperature is. So in general, I'd say that you can see a little green light. In general, I'm loving this Daisy. I think that it's worth the purchase. It's pretty expensive compared to just getting a traditional thermometer, but if you are interested in diving deeper into your fertility, finding out when you're ovulating, I think you can't go wrong with having a little Daisy. So let me know. Send me a message if you have any questions about Daisy. I'm going to pop this cap back on again. Remember to always sanitize it afterwards since it's been hanging out in your mouth. It comes with a little plug in the back. I have been using this for 2 months and I haven't needed to charge it other than the first time. So even though it does charge, you're not going to need to charge it very often. So that is all from me. Thank you so much for watching Girl Meets Body, where I'm introducing you to your body one episode at a time. And I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Bye, guys.